Thomas.Struth is a German photographer who is best known for his museum photographs, family portraits and 1970s black and white photographs of the streets of Düsseldorf and New York. Struth currently lives and works in Berlin and New York. Early life and education. Born to ceramic potter Gisela Struth and bank director Heinrich Struth in Gelden, Germany, Struth trained at the Düsseldorf Academy from 1973 until 1980, where he initially studied painting under Peter Kleemann, and from 1974, Gerhard Richter. Increasingly drawn to photography and with Richter's support, Struth, along with Candida Hofer, Axel Hutter, and Roswitha Ronkolz, joined the first year of the new photography class run by Bernd and Hilla Beecher in 1976. In 2007, he was an artist in residence at the Atlantic Center for the Arts. In 2007, Struth married author Tara Braysmith in New York. Work. In 1976, as part of a student exhibition at the Academy, Struth first showed a grid composed of 49 photographs taken from a centralized perspective on Düsseldorf's deserted streets, each of them obeying a strict logic of central symmetry. The compositions are simple and the photographs are neither staged nor digitally manipulated in post-production. Strong contrasts of light and shade are also avoided, Struth preferring the grayish, uninflected light of early morning. This serves to enhance the neutral treatment of the scenes. In 1977, Struth and Hutter traveled to England for 2 months, and teamed up to photograph different aspects of housing in the urban context of East London. In 1978, Struth was the first artist in residence at PS1 Studios, Long Island City. In 1979, Struth traveled to Paris to visit Thomas Schutt, a fellow student at the Kunstakademie, and continued his photographs of cityscapes. He went on to produce similar series in Rome, Edinburgh, Tokyo, and elsewhere. These early works largely consisted of black and white shots of streets. Skyscrapers were another feature of his work, with many of his photographs attempting to show the relationship people have with the modern-day environment. In the mid-1980s, Struth added a new dimension to his work when he started to produce family portraits, some of which are in color and others in black and white. This was after a meeting with psychoanalyst Ingo Hartmann. As a result, these works attempt to show the underlying social dynamics within a seemingly still photograph. In 1989, Struth began work on his best-known cycle, Museum Photographs, devoted to the visitors to some of the world's great museums and buildings, including the Art Institute of Chicago, the Musée du Louvre in Paris, the Accademia in Venice, and the Pantheon in Rome, expanding the practice after living in Naples and Rome at the end of the 1980s. He also photographed visitors of churches. From 1998 on, Struth expanded the series with images shot on sites of powerful secular significance. His pictures of the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, taken between 1996 and 2001, comprise the first series of museum photographs dedicated entirely to a single museum with architectural and sculptural works from classical antiquity, including the famous Pergamon altar and the Market Gate of Millet. After several unsuccessful attempts to make works based on candid shots of visitors at the Pergamon Museum, in 2001 he decided to orchestrate the positioning of participants in a series of photos. Struth's Museo del Prado series from 2005, composed of 5 photographs taken over the course of 1 week, all shot from slightly different angles, of visitors flocking around Velázquez's Las Meninas. Also in 2005, he began producing a second series consisting of close-ups of spectators of a single work at the Hermitage in St. Petersburg. Here the spectators are the central object of the photograph, while the artwork itself remains outside the frame. By including in his photographs people who are looking at art, Struth makes viewers aware of their own active participation in the completion of the work's meaning, not as passive consumers but as reinterpreters of the past. Basing himself in Düsseldorf, Struth's profile continued to expand in the 1990s. Between 1998 and 2006, Struth began scouring the earth for jungle settings in Japan, Australia, China, America and Europe. His first 8 large-format pictures from Paradise were created in 1998 in the Daintree rainforest in Australia. Between 1995 and 2003, he produced a series of photographs featuring groups of people gathered at emblematic locations, whether as tourists or as pilgrims. Again created throughout Asia, Europe and the Americas. Mural-sized color photographs of 2010 that are up to 4 meters long record the structural intricacy of remote techno-industrial and scientific research spaces, such as physics institutes, pharmaceutical plants, space stations, dockyards, nuclear facilities and other edifices of technological production. In 2014, Struth presented a series of pictures in which he again penetrates key places of human imagination in order to scrutinize the landscape of enterprise, invention and digital engineering, taking an archetypal site for the creation of cultural dreams and imagination. One group of pictures depicts panoramic views of Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, partly inspired by Kati Reichinger's 2008 article in the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung about the altered perspective and reading of the theme parks since the beginnings in the 1950s. Meanwhile, Struth continues to add to his collection of family portraits. In 2002, Gerhard Richter asked Struth to make a family portrait for an article on Richter's work in the New York Times Magazine. In 2011, he was commissioned by the National Portrait Gallery to make a double portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh. From 1993 to 1996, Struth was the first professor of photography at the Staatliche Hochschule für Gestaltung in Karlsruhe, Germany. Between 2010 and 2011, he served as Humanitas visiting professor in contemporary art at Oxford University. Exhibitions. Struth's work has been widely shown in solo and group exhibitions, among them the 44th Venice Biennale and Documenta IX at Kassel. His first solo show outside of Germany took place at Fruit Market Gallery, Edinburgh in 1987. In 1988, Struth exhibited in the group show Another Objectivity, organized by the Institute of Contemporary Arts, London, which sought to define a current of research born in Germany in the wake of the Beecher's work. Struth later had his first solo exhibition in the U.S. at the Renaissance Society in Chicago in 1990. Following the anthological exhibitions held in 2002 at the Dallas Museum of Art and the MoCA in Los Angeles. In 2003 his work was presented at the Great Hall of the Metropolitan Museum, with the screening of the video 1-hour video portraits of portraits on which Struth had been working since 1996. The center of the exhibition was the Museum series, which featured seemingly ordinary shots of people entering churches, museums and other public places. In 2007, he became the first contemporary artist ever to be exhibited at the Museo del Prado, Madrid, among the permanent collection of old masters. In 2010, a European retrospective of his work, Thomas Struth, Photographs 1978 to 2010, was held at Kunsthaus Zurich, later traveling to Kunstsammlung Nordrhein-Westfalen K20, Düsseldorf, Whitechapel Gallery, London, and Museu Saraves, Porto. Principal exhibitions: 1987 Kunsthal Bern, 1987 Westfälisches Landesmuseum Münster, participation in Sculpture Project A Münster, 1991 Carnegie Museum of Art, Pittsburgh, USA, 1992 Kunstsammlung Nordrhein-Westfalen, Düsseldorf, participation in Documenta AX, Kassel, 1992 Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden at the Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C., USA, 1993 Kunsthal Hamburg, 1994 Institute of Contemporary Arts, Boston, USA, 1995 Kunstmuseum Bonn, 1997 Sprengel Museum, Hanover, 1998 Stedelijk Museum, Amsterdam, 2000 Spazio Oberdan, Milan, 2000 National Museum of Art, Tokyo and AMP, Kyoto, 2001 Haifa Museum, Israel, 2001 Kunstsammlung, Bale, 2002 Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York, 2002 Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles, 2003 Museum of Contemporary Art, Chicago, 2004 Hamburger Bahnhof, Berlin, 2005 Museo de Arte, Lima, 2007 Museo Nacional del Prado, Madrid, 2008 Die Fotografische Sammlung SK Stiftung Kultur, Köln, 2008 Museo d'Arte Contemporanea Donna Regina, Madra, Nepal, 2008 Museum de Pont, Tilburg, 2010 Photography 1978–2010, Kunsthaus Zurich, 2010 New Works Gallery Max Hetzler, Berlin, 2011 Photography 1978–2010, K20 Kunstsammlung Nordrhein-Westfalen, Düsseldorf, 2011 Whitechapel Gallery, London, 2011 Sterling and Francine Clark Art Institute, Williamstown, Massachusetts, 2011 Saravs Foundation, Porto, 2014 Thomas-Struth Photographs Metropolitan Museum of Art, New York, 2014 Marion Goodman Gallery, New York, 2015 Marion Goodman Gallery, London, 2015 Galleria Monica de Cardenas, Milan, 2016 Nature and AMP Politics, Museum Folkwang, Essen. Recognition: Struth was awarded the Spectrum International Photography Prize of Lower Saxony and the Werner Mans Prize for Photography, the Netherlands. Recent honors include an honorary residency at the Villa Aurora in Los Angeles, and an honorary fellowship awarded by the Royal Institute of British Architects. Art market: Struth usually works in editions of 10 prints. In 2007, his work Pantheon, Rome was sold to David Zwirner at Christie's, New York for more than $1 million. In 2014, an earlier version of Pantheon, Rome, executed in 1992, sold for $1.25 million at Sotheby's London site. Struth has been exhibiting at Gallery Max Hetzler, Berlin, since 1987, at Marion Goodman Gallery, New York, since 1989, and at Monica de Cardenas, Milan, since 1993. Selected bibliography: Unbewusste Orte, Unconscious Places, Bern 1987. Museum Photographs, Munich 1993. Strangers and Friends, 1994. Stephen Gronet und Christoph Schra, Thomas-Struth, Strassen. Photography 1976–1995. Kunstmuseum Bonn, Cologne, 1995. Portraits, Munich 1997. Still, Munich 1998. Struth, Munich 2000. Thomas-Struth, My Portrait, 2000. Lorenz Zimmer, Munich 2001. New Pictures from Paradise, Munich 2002. Photography 1977–2002, Munich 2002. Pergamon Museum, Munich 2004. Museum Photographs Munich 2005. Les Museum Photographs de Thomas.Struth. Une mise en abîme. Paris, Munich 2005. Thomas.Struth. Photographs 1978–2010. Schirmer, Mosel, 2010. ISBN 978-38296-04659. Thomas.Struth.